Alright, hey guys, it's another set talk. We're talking about another set again. So this is Alliance Insight. It came out last Thursday and pre-release with the week before. Today is currently the 7th of the 5th. So it's the 7th of May. And it came out, what would that be? The 2nd, the 1st of May? 2nd of May? 1st of May. 1st of May. I think this set released here in Australia. And I want to talk about it. Why are you giving me a scroll bar? And I want to talk about it because I think there's some implications to things that I think might happen in the future, along with this set list proves me right about the ban list being crap. Being absolutely terrible. So I want to run through some cards. We'll run through some like the new archetypal stuff as best as I can, because I've only seen it play and I've just kind of read them. I know roughly what they do or what people are using them for, and then we'll get into some cards that I think are kind of cool. So starting with like the Maliss stuff, like important stuff down to like less important stuff. So stay for whatever you want to actually CC. But the Maliss stuff, Maliss in the Mirror, it's given it more extension, really. It's given it more ways to dodge things. It's given it more way to kind of extend and get to starters. It seems like you always need like a name, right? But this is where like March Hare comes in. Because this here is another name. You needed another name. They just lost one of each of their names, or was that just Ryziel? It got hit, and then I think Underground was hit, and a couple of the main decks were hit. None of the extra deck was hit, and this here is pretty much a replacement to Bestials. Some say not as good. I think it's better because it'll go further than what a Bestial can. Sure, it's not very interactive with your opponent, but it definitely is. It facilitates towards the end board, which they're going for, which if they can get to that end board, they just kind of win anyway, right? So this is pretty much just replacing the Bestials, which once again I think is kind of bull, because we limited Druid's Worm down to 1, right, to lower the Bestial count, because this deck was abusing it. I think it was this deck that was abusing it. I don't know if it's because they're like, oh, it's just like the weird interaction, but they do that, and now other decks can't use the whole Bestial suite, and then they just replace the Bestial with a name, so a searchable named version of it. And then to coincide with this, we've got now this Ignister stuff, which apparently, from what I can tell and from what I've heard, and argue with me all you want, this lets the deck play around. It lets the deck end on stuff through Lancia now. Like, there's one thing I want to check, because it's this. And where's my caps lock on? It's this. These are also 23, right? That's not. But these two are. And so, sure, Lancia kills the deck, right? But realistically, all they need is like one name in rotation, and they have any of the links that they need. They just won't be able to banish from there, right? But this is also with this. So this is like their end board now. So you can spend as many Cyberburst monsters with 2300 attack from your graveyard as possible, which means they now have more recursion for their Maliss links if they do get it to there. And then it's when your opponent activates a card or effect, tribute one of the link monster points to it. If they do banish that card. Banish that card. Like, it's crazy how we're having these weird cards that just banish when only one deck in the current format actually. Like, because there's a difference though. There's a difference between now being able to deal with your cards being banished and plussing off your cards being banished. And so very few decks plus off being banished. Like, at most it'd be like some weird Bestial pile with Regained already in rotation. That's all I can think of. Just Regained with that's it. A Bestials with Regained already in rotation. So it lets it play through Lancia. It does a little harder to draw, I think, under certain cases. But I think with the way that Cyberburst Link climbs, this is always going to kind of be part of your end board, unless you have multiple hand traps, of course. And then I think along with the Cyberburst stuff, this gives the actual Cyberse pile more tools to play with, because there's this card here which I didn't put in, I don't know why, but this one here, it pretty much is now 3 more copies of Circular, which, you know, I guess ban it, bring it back, and then just give you 3 more copies. That's fine, but now it seems like, from what I can tell, their weird Appaloosa that they get is, sure, a few more hoops to jump through, but it is now going to be part of their end board a bit more, which, once again, we go into that argument of, why do we bother banning generic versions of cards if we're just going to give all the archetypes the exact same effects? Like, why do we get rid of all the Omni-Negates if every archetype's going to have their own Omni-Negate? That isn't that hard to get to. What are we working for? So those are the 2 biggest things, I think. Maybe Cyber Swap isn't going to be the worst thing in the world, but definitely Maliss getting these 2 and a way around Lancia definitely does push it to a thing, which once again puts me back on the ban list of, I was right, ban list did nothing. Why anyone said the ban list was good, I don't know, because we knew these cards were coming out, right? We knew what these cards were going to do, and the issue is, it's like, cool, alright, they banned a bunch of floodgates, and they brought some stuff back to 3, and they did consistency hits. No one likes consistency hits. We never have. You can't do consistency hits on Ryziel cards and release 7th Tachyon at the same time. Sure, it dies harder to draw. It's, what, a 33% chance in a 5 card hand to open 1 of 3? How often is it going to happen? They said 36%. I don't think the numbers are that clean, not in a game like this, but I don't think the ban list did anything. And then, so that's pretty much the Maliss stuff. It is going to be the best deck. It will be for a while, considering how they now can just play through anything and everything. So I would argue board breakers might be in. Then the Mitsurugi stuff, it seems like they've just got more consistency cards. This thing here is a search. This one here annoys me because I think it still falls under that letting cards just do whatever they want, because this lets you ritual summon. And I think why I have an issue with that is that we have ritual cards. You can always argue, like, Poly has quick effect versions of itself, but that's because it's a spell card. It's a regular spell card. Ritual spells, on the other hand, are specifically ritual cards. They are searched under the type of ritual spell. They are searched by certain cards, such as Herald of the Archetype and pre-prep and stuff like that, right? And so the fact that this thing here can just kind of do whatever. Mitsurugi already has kind of a problem right now of having cards that just kind of let you do something without having to do the rest of the effects. Kind of like Pearly, where it's like you don't have to tell your opponent if you're going to summon or not, because there's already that one effect tied to it. But Mitsurugi has a card, which is in the first set, or in the first release, which was active attribute 1 monster, and then you can do something, but you can really just use the attribute a monster, and that's dumb to me. That's stupid. But this here has a really, really oppressive end board, but it does seem like it's decently easy to stop with a couple of hand traps, or like it has a hard time playing into a board, unless it plays like board breaks and stuff like that, or it nibs you, standard hand trap crap. But the engine itself seems to have a little trouble going second. But the issue is that if it does get through a board, something as small as the big ritual that is like a Raiho is enough to kind of just win that grind game, or win that simplified game state, which kind of sucks because you don't really have to think about it. Ryziel got 1 card in support, or got 2 technically, but no one's playing the trap. I think the trap is Arse, from what I have understood, which is this mass driver. Then you can attach this error. For the rest of this turn, all Ryziel monsters you control get 1,000 attack. You type 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. It's a weird DD Crow for some reason. I mean, it could have applications format dependent, but realistically, Star has just become another extender. It grabs Core, which means Duo Drive can, not grabs Core, it grabs Cross, which means Duo Drive can grab 2 other things. So that's the other thing that we've got, is that if decks aren't playing plug-in and they're just playing cross, then Star can get cross, which means you can always get 2 extenders off of Duo Drive rather than 1 extender and 1 spell card, whether it be plug-in or cross. If you're not playing plug-in, you're just playing cross, Star gets cross, and then no one's playing whole anymore either, because Ryziel has just become a supplementary rank 4 engine rather than I'm going to end on detonator. So this is not an issue, but it's still one of those things of like, you never have to make a choice of what you want to add anymore. You can just add everything throughout a turn. But it doesn't increase the power of the deck. The Ryziel got hit enough. Probably too much, I think, but Detonator is a really sticky card, and it still kind of is with Eclipse Twins around, so you just have to think about your plays a bit. But it's like, it's whatever. It's a one-of, but it does mean that you can kind of, like, you have a bit more leeway with what you want to add. So we move into some new, the new archetype of the deck. Because I think this is the only new archetype, and the rest is all support and rando crap. Regenesis. I've been looking forward to Regenesis for a while. I pulled none of the secrets except for core, not secrets, but none of the higher rarity ones except for core, I think. This is already looking kind of crazy for what it can do. I've seen a few different variants already, because I think I've seen a Bestial version. I saw the Diabellstar version, because there's new Diabellstar cards that just, like, banish spells and traps from your graveyard or field, I think, or maybe just graveyard, to summon, and they're all 2,500 bodies, which means, and they're just huge, and they search stuff. And then even the Regenesis cards are kind of nuts, because this one here, just reveal a 2,500, summon it, and then add a Regenesis card, which is normally going to be Regenesis. You take a Regenesis monster and add it to your hand, send it to the graveyard. Send it to the graveyard, I can't remember why you'd do it, because realistically, this can add any monster if you're already controlling a Regenesis, which you would be, because you normally get it off Archfiend. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so, and they just kind of flood the field with big bodies, and the big issue is, like, I didn't put them all here, but it's really, really weird, because there is an Omni in Sage. Sage is an Omni by tributing another. You send one other from your face or hand up field, which means you have it in hand and send it. It doesn't even tribute. This is what's weird. So it doesn't tribute, and then Lord doubles its attack. It doubles its attack during the battle phase, and it sets a Regenesis spell from your deck on summon, and it banishes from face up monster with 2,500 attack. So I don't know if there's a 2,500 that benefits from being banished, but someone will eventually find it, and they're already getting more support. That's crazy. There's two of them. They're this quick, and then and so, but then it has 5,000 attack, sets a trap, which is normally Birth, but then these two, Warrior and Dragon, they tribute themselves. One pops a spell and one pops a monster, and they tribute themselves for cost. So it's weird. This one here sends. This one doesn't really do anything. It's just big, but it banishes to summon. Then these two tribute themselves, and then Archfiend is just the way that you get to everything, because he's the 2,500 on board. He's the one that will summon Lord. It's funny because Lord goes to 5k in the battle phase, which means it still has 2,500 attack and defense in the main phase, so you can summon off it. And then Birth is a crazy card. Like, even though it's nuts, so it's a send for cost. So it's a Neptibus with the effect of a Book of Moon, and then during your opponent's turn, you can soul charge a Regenesis monsters. So I've seen some crazy stuff with this so far. It's a little overwhelming, but it does seem like that if you mess with Archfiend, like get rid of it, you should be pretty good, and you really start negging cards from their hand at that point. But it does seem like get rid of Archfiend, and you should be A-okay. Or get rid of whatever 2,500 body you've got, because remember as well, these things are inherent, I think. Yeah, these special summons are inherent. They are sprites. They're 2,500 sprites, which sucks. And then moving on to some, I guess, support. A bit weird. Ancient Fairy Dragon is just getting support. It's just getting some cards. It's just getting some cards. So this thing here is new. I don't know why I didn't put it in, but this thing here is new. And then they've got this trap card, and they've got 3 main deck monsters, which are all retrains of other ones. So this is Kuribon, the Fairy Spirit, which is Kuribon, and then Spore, the Fairy Seed is Spore, and then Regulus, the Fairy Beast. He's a beast in this. This is Plant Fairy. He is Regulus. So Regulus was just a regular card, and then you got AFD. And then they got this field spell, which we know that AFD is all field spell related. So now he has like an archetype related to him. So this card's mentioned, you add one monster that mentions Ancient Fairy Dragon from your deck to your hand, which means it adds any of those 3 cards that's mentioned, or 3 monsters. while controlling a level 7 or higher light dragon synchro monster, which is both of the synchros. Each time a monster special summon attack position, change defense, which means you just kind of floodgate them so they can't, which means this deck could kind of die to links. Once per turn of the FA, destroy all attack position monsters on the turn player's field. Which is funny, because then it means that, if they can't out this, which SP exists, so they probably will, you could wipe the board. I am liking the look of this, though, because this is Keymace, and this is, I don't know who this little tramp is, but then this is Wadapon, which means we're probably going to get more Ancient Fairy Dragon support in the form of these three, because that's Creebon, that's Ancient Fairy Dragon, which means we're probably already in the works. But the fact that Keymace is getting Ancient Fairy retrain when it just got a retrain in Memento is pretty funny. So these are all Ancient Fairy stuff. Like, you read them in your own time, but I don't really know what it's trying to do. Let's run through it. Actually, if this card's normal special, you can add one spell trap mentioned Ancient Fairy AFD from your deck to your hand during your main phase, which means this can add the field spell. You can special summon one level 4 or lower light monster, beast, plant, or fairy, which they all are, from your hand in defense position, which means it can summon itself too. Banish a card from your graveyard, target one field spell in your graveyard, place it on the bottom of the deck, then draw one card. And then Spore is, if this card is specialed, which would be off of 1-for-1 would work, and Regulus, if this card is specialed, you can count the number of monsters you control and have this card gain up to that many levels. That's pretty funny. If you control AFD or a light monster, beast, plant, or fairy, and this card's in your graveyard, you special on this card. I think Spore does something similar. Then you can't special except for synchro monsters. And it is a tuner, so that's cool. And then Creebon. Control an AFD or a light burn, something. Special effects, this just summons, and if you do, it is treated as a tuner. It's not, it can be, it is treated as a tuner, so you do have to watch out for that. But this means you can probably synchro climb up, because you, depending on how you do it, depending on when you summon Spore and stuff, it is treated as tuner. If another card you control is AFD or mentioned, that mentions it, would be destroyed by card effect. You can turn this card, you control the hand instead, so you can just bounce it back and do that. So it's like a Creebo-esque effect. And then the trap card, monster you control get 500 for each AFD or monster that mentions it. Once per turn, you target one face up monster. So yeah, realistically, no idea what this deck's trying to do right now. Because AFD just cycles field spells, and now it kind of has its own, but there's no real win con here. Just interesting stuff, keep an eye out for it. Because as we can tell by the artwork, we've probably got 3 more monsters at least to come through, and probably at least 1 more spell or trap that would include these 2 in the artwork, I would hazard a guess at. Argo Star's got support, just makes it a bit more consistent. You now have multiple searches, you have a couple more normals. Unfortunately, this one isn't as good as the other normal. Well, this is a special summon, but realistically the other one's normal summon is better than this effect. But it's just more ways to continuous traps. And stuff like that, and this here's the searcher, and then it does stuff, but it's once per turn and once only that turn, so you probably never get the second effect off that much unless you control the board state really well, because this deck is pretty fragile at the moment. We'll look up Argo Stars real quick. I think it's got more support. It's got a Xyz coming out. It does, but we won't go into that right now. It's right there. Whoa, get out of there. Then, Cyber Dragon's got support, but realistically, because whilst this is probably one of the coolest looking cards in the set, that looks absolutely sick. It gives me Metal Gear Rising Revengeance vibes, if anyone's played that game. But it's Cyber Dark Worm. Cyber Dark Worm has now just become this hyper starter that just throws Cyber Dragon into a giant wombo combo going first board now, which is kind of upsetting, because I feel like, once again, we should always just be... It should be, what does the deck want to do, and the deck wants to OTK. Let's make that a bit more, consistent, because we know it's not consistent, and we know it's not viable, because it's not a played deck. It's not a played deck, which means, why are we moving away from what the deck was trying to do, to something that every deck's trying to do, which is just make a big board and wombo combo your opponent to death? Not really a thing. It should have been more going second, like support, right? That's my opinion. Do not see this thing play either. Because it's the same thing. It's just a giant wombo. I think Nib beats this. I think if you just nib him at the end, or if you droll him, that's it. Droll him. I think Imperm the Clockwork Knight, as in the Link 1, is a way to go as well. And then, I don't know, I think that's about all I've seen from it. Next is, see, this one's cool, the Dragon Rulers. The Dragon Rulers, these things are crazy. So this one here will add 2. They dump the same way the old babies did, but this one here will add 2 Dragon Rulers. And it also has a summon back, which the little babies I don't think did. None of the little babies did anything in graveyard. They were just there. They would summon the same type, right? I think they all just summoned the big version of the same type. Yeah, and they couldn't attack this turn. So that's it. But these things here, so this one here, Spectral, will add 2, and then it can summon a dragon or a light monster. Oh wait, nope. No, sorry, it only summons back Chasma, which is this thing. Sorry, it summons back this thing. And then this one here, it recycles from Banished by summoning 2 back from Banished, which is pretty nuts, right? Like, one of the biggest things was having enough cards in hand to keep dumping. This is why the Arm Dragon stuff was so good, because the Arm Dragon stuff, when they would dump, would just add another higher level, and because they're dragons, they could all be dumped, so you just keep adding. But these things here, this one here just adds 2, this one here summons back 2, then they'll go to the graveyard, and you just do it all again, right? And they're the same thing as summons back the Eclipse. And then the Xyzes, so I didn't think this was in this set. I feel like this was in an earlier set, but then I don't remember ever saying Dragon Ruler on it, so I could be wrong about this. Actually, I can have a quick look. Because I should have looked this up beforehand, but it looks familiar to something else. Dragon Ruler. Wait, don't give me that. Where's my dueling book? Dragon Ruler, what's his name? Oh, Disaster Dragon Ruler. Whoops, Disaster. Oh, Disaster. Dragon Ruler of all Apocalypse. So this is this thing. It came out in Alan. Alright, so it is this set. Okay, cool. So yeah, so these ones here are pretty nutty as well, because they are extension and well, they do everything. So the effect is pretty much you can send 1 level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from your deck to your graveyard and detach 1 material from this card. This effect becomes the Sent Monsters effect, which means it's a reborn, a search, a pop, and a dump at any point. And then if this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 7 Dragon Ruler from your graveyard of banishment, which means it's recursion as well. And this one here, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Dragon Ruler monster in your graveyard of banishment, special summon 1 level rank 7, mentioned it, which means you can do stuff with the banished cards now, which is cool, because before you couldn't. But Dragon Rulers were always good, because they could always just do something every turn, but eventually you do lose out. And then here, when your opponent activates a spell trap card, detach material to get the you banish that card. They just have a negate now. And then Disaster, I think, is a pop. You can target up to 4 level 7 Dragon Ruler monsters in your graveyard and all banishment, attach them to this card, then you can banish all monsters from your opponent's field and graveyard with the same attribute as this card's material. That's kind of nuts, man. You can only use this. While this card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind Dragon Ruler monsters under it as material, it gains 4600 attack, and it becomes a Towers. Which means you make it with 2, and if you set it up properly and bring everything back with like all of them, that's pretty cool. I didn't know this thing came out, but that I didn't think that was this in this set, but I like that. It gives it like a really weird win code. 4600, I don't understand that. I don't get this number, but that's pretty funny. Anyway, this is something I was looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to playing it, because I did play the Dragon Ruler Arm Dragon version a little while ago, and then they got this cool spell card. Here there be dragons. Special 1 Dragon Ruler monster from your hand, graveyard of banishment, and then immediately exceed summon. 1 Dragon Ruler using only Dragon Ruler monsters you control, which means you could get out that Disaster thing in your opponent's turn. During your main phase, you can banish a card from your graveyard, target any number of banished Dragon Rulers monsters with different attributes returned to the graveyard, which also is really cool, because once again, if you grab them all back, you banish any of the big Dragon Rulers, and when they're banished, like to summon, and when they're banished, you can add more, and it just kind of goes, which means you can summon 1 back, add 2 babies, potentially. But I don't think there's any way of getting these babies back to the deck, which kind of sucks. So So yeah, it goes back, oh, you just had one fire dragon, which means it can add itself. So there you go. You're always doing something, which is cool. Always doing something's nice. And then there's the heraldic beasts, which I want to start with Stadwale, because he just adds 2. Discard 1 card, add 2 heraldry, and then I think one of the heraldry spells just summons 2 monsters or something like that. This hasn't done anything yet, I don't think, and I don't think it will, because I think the locks on it are too oppressive for people to care, or they just won't play it. Yeah, actually no, the locks on this deck are crazy, and people aren't going to play it because of that until the deck's really, really broken. But this one here is 4 materials on its own, apparently. Like, so 4 monsters on its own. But they all lock you like this. So, special summon in defense position. Wait, what? So you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 2 heraldic beast monsters in your graveyard with the same name. Special summon them in defense position. Then you cannot. So this is, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except XYZ summons by XYZ summon that uses only monsters with heraldic beast or number in their original names as material. Except by XYZ summon. So you cannot special summon the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except by Z summon that uses only monsters with heraldic beast or number in their original names as material. So either that means that you can only summon heraldic beasts and number monsters, or you can only summon heraldic beasts. So let's look at that real quick, just so I can look at what the potential options are. Beastie, ooh, Beastie Boys. There are no heraldic beasts, so all I can think of is that you can only use heraldic beasts as material, maybe? Is what that's getting at? Is someone can explain that better to me? But it sounds dumb, and it sounds like, because there is heraldry cards, right? Like 3 level 4, 5 level 4, 4 level 4, 2 level 4s. So I don't know if this is like a whole archetype. What the fuck is this? This is some of this is new. Like, this is in the set. Okay, so it must be, right? Like, am I... Target any number of face-up monsters your opponent controls. Those monsters' names become unknown. During your end phase, if you control a psychic disease monster and this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. What is going on with this archetype? This is target 1 heraldic beast monster in the graveyard, special summon it. Not once per turn. When an opponent monster declares an attack, special summon 1 heraldic beast. So they are linked. During other player's turn, if 2 or more monsters with the same name are on the field, you test one and destroy all other monsters with that name. Well, this card remains first on the field, your opponent cannot summon monsters with the same name as any of the monsters chosen for this card's effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 2 heraldic beast monsters from your deck to the graveyard. I don't know, man. This sounds whack. I never even heard of these guys, but apparently this is old. Anyway, that's a deck. Fucking okay. I don't even know what to say about that. The more I read there, the more I was like, get me out of this. Ryuji got support. This thing's pretty cool. It helps the deck going second. It's a big boy. It does have this issue with only you cannot penetrate except for Ryuji monsters. The first one be good. And then activated blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, but no, when it gets popped. Where is it? Where is it? You can choose 1 Ryuji monster and to fix it. Easy summon. Easiest card is destroyed. You place 1 Ryuji, continuous spell trap from your deck or graveyard or banishment face up on your field, which is cool because I don't think there's any way to get the ones back from banishment, which they do for their combo or to activate shit from the other stuff. But I think what this could be work really well with is the Metal Foes stuff. If you had some Metal Foes, because you could target one of the face up cards you control, destroy it, and if you do set 1, because there's the Metal Foes trap, which I think is like just a body machine, right? It's like is it combination? Once per turn of a fusion monster, nope. Is it counter? If a card you control is destroyed by battle card effects, special one monster during other player's turn, except, oh wait. Oh, there you go. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Metal Foes monster from your deck to your hand. So, between the trap getting popped and this thing getting popped, that's not a bad combo, I think. I think that's something that can be looked into. But without Electromite, I think it's not that good. Potentially, but you know, it's got stuff. Like you can fusion, whatever. I think the other issue is that the types don't match up. These are all psychics. psychics, and the Ryujis are dinosaur, sea serpent, worms. What are you gonna do about it? But I thought it was cool because it's a way for you to pop your own stuff, and then like potentially be able to like plus off of things if you have the ability to, and like get like a critical mass of these in, and then because I think, unfortunately, the pendulum numbers aren't high enough, which kind of sucks. But I don't think the Ryujis have trouble summoning themselves. I think they're pretty easy. Then there was white support. There was Skull Servant support. Seems like it just makes it more consistent. Gives you more names to make the thing bigger. That's kind of cool. Once again, they're adding cards that do what the deck already was. It's not like all of a sudden Skull Servant's trying to go first. They're trying to OTK. They've given you more crap to do that. Materiactor got a normal pendulum. So it's already quite a competent rank 3 engine, despite the fact that I only had a few cards, but it is still like a good rank 3 engine, and now you can play Primite with it. So that's kind of cool. I like that idea. The Diabellstar stuff got new support. It doesn't seem to really do too much for Whitewoods, it seems, but I did see the issue is Whitewoods already does a lot, so it comes down to how much more stuff does Whitewoods want to do before you start sacrificing like non-engine and stuff. But if it's like push, then maybe it's fine. But yeah, I think one thing that I did find funny, because the people playing this, one thing I did think was funny with it, the card down here called Philia Regis, which looks like it's a Dragon Maid support card, which is kind of funny because we get new Dragon Maid stuff soon, right? But this is called Philia Diabell. Philia Regis, Philia Diabell, Philia Regis. So what does she look like? I mean, she looks like a dragon lady, and there on the ground there, is that her? Is that, I don't know, the boobs don't look big enough, but maybe pink hair, blonde hair. So maybe that's probably just Diabell, right? That's probably just Diabell sitting on the ground there. I don't know what Philia means or why they'd put 2 cards in it with the same name. I don't know. There could be something there. Maybe this here is a sinful spoil that she's holding on to. Who knows? And then there's this Eldlich got a new card, which is cool. So it's another monster thing. Pay 100, special summon it, and then it's a bounce. But it's you can set one of your banished Golden Lord or Eldlich spell traps. So now this has grind game. That's cool. I saw this being played in I saw Regenesis being played in this too, because Eldlich has 2500. And then there's Tiki Piece. This thing's kind of cool because pay 800 life points. It's kind of funny, this 800 life points again. 800 seems to be like a weird theme at the moment. Pay 800 life points, special summon 1 continuous trap, except Tiki Piece from your graveyard of banishment as a normal monster. Rock, Earth, blah blah blah, and its name becomes Tiki Piece, which means I guess it could be played in Eldlich would be one that it could be played in. Argo Stars could be one that it's played in, and it is a level 4, so this means you can Xyz with it and stuff like that. So that's not the worst thing in the world, because this thing is a level 4, and then this thing's a level 4, which means you just have the ability to have 2 4s. That's pretty cool, right? And you can play it in Odeon, or Tomb Keeper as they call it, to bring back that stuff as well, just for more bodies. You do lose the name and stuff like that, it just becomes a normal monster, but it was kind of cool. Sorry, we have now moved on to their kind of cool cards that I wanted to talk about real quick. And then we have this reprint or this retrain of Crimson Firewing Pegasus. Now it's Crimson Firewing Pegasus. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, and the reason I wanted to bring this up because I just played Chainburn. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special on this card, and if you do, you can it can attack directly this turn. You can special summon Crimson Firewing Pegasus once per turn this way. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you can inflict damage to your opponents equal to the chain link number of this effect times 300. Also, this card cannot be destroyed by effects activated before this one in this chain. That's pretty funny. And it's Chain Strike. It's now 3 more copies of Chain Strike with a slightly lower number here. And that's funny to me too. That's funny to me as well, because I just played Chain Burn, and this one here actually might have been okay in it. Then they pair up too. You can pair them up with Chain Strike, depending on it, but you do have to chain it to a monster effect on the field. But I guess because you're playing into a board all the time, it should be fine. And then this one here, it's Dragon's Mind. It's just an Omni for Regenesis, pretty much, right? I don't know any way to search it, but it's there. And I got it mixed up with Dragon's Bind. I thought this was a reprint. Turns out it's a whole new card, and I was thinking of Dragon's Bind, which is this one. Which, discard one dragon type of control with 2,500 less attack threats. Another player can special summon a monster with attack less than or equal to the original attack of that monster. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. This is kind of nutty. By targeting one dragon type monster you control. Yeah, so this is kind of nutty. I kind of want to put this in the deck that I'm currently playing, but we shall see. It's just a weird floodgate. So another player can special summon when that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So it's like build a board, floodgate your opponent out, whatever. So I thought this was being reprinted, but it turns out that, or this was a reprint, but it turns out it's a new card. Then there's this thing, Let's Go Together. I mainly thought it was just weird because of this last line of text. So if you have no Let's Go Together in your face-up field, graveyard, or banishment, banish 7 cards from your top of your deck face down. Make your opponent banish 7 cards from their extra deck and or the top of their deck face down, and they must declare how many they are banished from each beforehand. That's a weird line of text to me, but I can't wait to see these characters on an actual monster and see if they're like some weird Kashtira kind of cards. This should be the planet that the Kashtiras go and attack next, is Snow Planet, because we don't have a Snow Planet yet. Anyway, I just thought that last line of text was weird. And then we got the Chaotic Elements, which is meant to be the Tistina and the Ashen support, right? It does work with them. It's not going to do enough, but I did hear that Ashen's getting more support, so cool. Nothing too much to say on that one. I have to test with that one a bit more. Dippity, it allows Fiendsmith to play Primite way better than what it already does with White Dust on. Yeah, it's cool though. It looks cool. It reminds me of Shaman from Pokemon. And this thing here is cool. This thing here is just like you could. This is a Druid Worm that can clear the board unless I'm reading this wrong. So I'm pretty sure this thing here you can only use this effect of Wicked whatever once per turn. I'm pretty sure that is its ability to special summon itself, right? But the second effect, when this card is destroyed by battle, you can target one monster your opponent controls, send to the graveyard, then you can special summon this card. So if this here is tied to the summon effect, and this here is not a once per turn, you can clear the board with this. You can swing, battle, die, send, bring it back, because also it doesn't state special summon cards, which means you just lose a bit of life points. But sometimes losing a bit of life points to get to a completely empty board, not bad. Not to mention special summonable. Like, he's not small, so you will be able to make over some stuff, and he just keeps coming back. And this leads into my weird like level 7 support that they've got, which is this thing, Replicard Lad. Once again, 2500. Always remember that stat line now. Banish one of the level 7 or higher from your hand, special summon this card. That's fine. Target one face-up monster you control. Special summon one monster from your deck with a different name that has 2 or more of the same level attack and or defense, but it cannot activate specs this turn. Okay, so weird level 7 kind of like rank spam. And then there's this thing. Target one face-up monster you control, equip it with one level 7 monster with the same type but a different name from your hand deck. And the reason why this is nuts or diff weird is because the Regenesis cards... Oh, sorry, before I continue, the weird second effect is when your opponent's level or rank 8 or higher monster is destroyed by battle, while this card's in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. So you can do this every turn. Right, realistically, depending on what they're playing, like the level rank 8s. But what's with the specifics on 7s and 8s? Like, what am I missing in the current format or in future formats where this is really going to matter? But, I don't know, man. It seems kind of funny. Because what I was getting at with these Regenesis cards, they're 8s and 7s. They're 8s and 7s. But this here also, by the way, could help with extension in... or getting names online with Dragon Rulers and stuff like that. So who's to say? And then weird fairy support. There's like random fairy support that just came out. I like fairies a lot. This thing looks cool. I really like this card. I like the look of this card. The name's dumb. Hermanur. Right, so she can tribute 3 fairy monsters from your hand or field, set 1 continuous spell. So we have another bunch of fairies that work with continuous traps, which are, it's like Carden. So there's Carden, which is this thing. When this card is normal summon, you can set 1 continuous trap from your hand or graveyard. It can be activated this turn, and then it's set, you can activate this effect, face up traps your control, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking a bit fast, but this video is 40 minutes long. And the other thing was, the other fairy. What was it? It was like a level 8 fairy monster. Fairy, is it 8? Is it another one? I think I brought this up before. What the fuck is that? That's funny. Maybe it's 7? One sec. Because there's another card. Because if it's 7, that's even funnier. That thing looks sick. Anyway, not Neo Pasha. Man, why can I never remember this thing's name? It's not 9, is it? Surely it's not 9. This is a 9. Oh, maybe she is. Surely not a 10. Hang on. What is that? Moisture creature. That's terrifying. Well, this is all the... 1 second. Oh, is that a fairy? There's no way that this thing isn't here. It's not 11, is it? Is there this? Oh, surely it's not a 6. There's way more stars than a 6. Oh man, it like summoned itself by getting rid of. Or maybe it's not a fairy. I'm pretty sure it is a fairy. It summoned itself by like all these cataclysmic. So I gotta look at these cards more. It summoned itself by like getting rid of continuous spells and traps, and then it did something else whilst it was on board or whatever like that. But I swear it should have been like along the lines of here. It's a pretty. It looks a bit like this in terms of what it looks like. What is that? Zeta elected. Man, there's some. That makes it EVA tokens. Man, I gotta look at more stuff. Just one more, and then because anyway, so. Nah, there's no way it's a 5. It's not a 12, is it? There's no way it's a 12. No, okay, you know what? I've lost it. I have no idea what this thing is. It might, maybe it's. Oh, you know what it might be? It might actually be a spellcaster. Might actually be a level 8 spellcaster. This is it. Pharaonic Advent. Sorry if that doesn't make me think of fucking fairy. Anyway, gain 3 attack for each continuous spell, continuous trap on the field. You contribute 1 monster special summon card from your hand. You contribute 1 fairy, fiend, or reptile monster. Add 1 continuous trap from your deck to your hand. Also, you can have special summon. So it's weird. So these don't actually link the way that I thought they did, but it can be used in what's it called? Generator. Does Generator have a Generator? Does Generator have a continuous spell? It does. Has Generator boss loot. Your opponent must kill a target generator effect monster for attacks. If a generator effect a monster is battled, your opponent draws 1 card. And then I guess you get all the stuff off again. Not very good. There's probably better applications for this. I wasn't really thinking. I thought this was something else. Especially on this card, but when it banishes leaves the field, this card sends a grave over a card effect. So also, like, I guess... No, it's not even good link fodder. Like, tribute 3 fairies. It's, you know what it's closer to, though? It's closer to, Trias, right? Trias Hierarchia. Like, also a 9, tribute up to 3 fairies. But this tributes 3 fairies. So I guess it's kind of similar. And then this thing, Vingol's Blessing. When the card is activated, you can send 1 light fairy monster from your deck to your graveyard. Fairy monster you control get 100 attack for each fairy monster in your field. In your graveyard, it's card is sent to the graveyard. You can special summon target 1 level 4 or fairy monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. it just weird. It's like weird fairy support, weird level 7 support, some random support here and there, some random retrains of stuff in this set. We look at the extra deck real quick. Azamina, this thing here is kind of cool. It's a weird, like, it's kind of like Masquerade, but with attack. So each time your opponent activates the card effect, all monsters they control is 500. Your opponent can activate the effects of monsters with 0 attack. Kind of funny, kind of funny. I'm hoping this thing here is actually something you can play around. I don't really want to play against Saint Azamina anymore. But now we've got Queen Azamina, Saint Azamina, and regular Azamina. Then Poplar is back in Synchro form, which is cool. So getting into Poplar, which is fine, the White Forest stuff, is straight into the 12, into any 12, because he puts 2 White Forest monsters in the back zone, and then you can summon Doom Dragon, and then go into 12. So that's cool. So he himself, it just becomes a 12. Live Twin got support in the 1 link, it seems. Unless it was like some random stuff that I missed, but I don't think I did. So you send one Leela monster from your deck or extra deck, and then copy the effect, or apply this effect in turn. Each time your opponent activates a card effect in response to your throw, draw 1 card when that card effect resolves. So it's a Molcharmy. It's a Molcharmy. Then there's Ophelia Regis, which is Dragon Maid support. This Sakura thing, which I thought this was going to be like Time Thief support, because it's like it talks about rank 4 psychics, level rank 4 psychics, but it might be what was it? Was it Heraldic that I was looking at? Where was I just before? I think it was Heraldic, right? Oh yeah, Heraldic. Heraldic? I can't spell, man. I mean, it's midnight. I thought... What did I just look at? Whatever you guys saw before, I was looking at psychics. I was looking at psychic types. Is it the heraldry? Oh yeah, here you go. All these things are psychics, and this thing here works with psychics. Like, target 1 level rank 4 psychic must be graveyard, special summon it. So I'm assuming there's some tie together here, because it's also a TCG exclusive. Back on other cards I thought were interesting with this thing, because I just finished playing with Chronomaly. 2 monsters, including a rock monster, and it works on popping stuff with an augmented level. So as in, you augment your attack by targeting a rock, it gains the attack, and then you can pop something with less attack than your opponent. Oh wait, you can target 1 other monster on the field with attack less than this. It's more wordy. This card loses attack equal to that monster attack, and if it does, destroy that monster. So you do lose the attack, but it's whatever, right? So this thing's kind of cool. I think G Golem is slowly getting stronger and stronger with his random rock support, so keep an eye out for that as well. And then Toxic Blockfish was the last one that I thought was kind of neato, because it looks like something that you'd synchro climb up through, which is cool if removal wasn't so prevalent. So this guy's secret, so target 1 card in another graveyard, banish it, so TD Crow. Then if this card is banished, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effects for the end turn. This would be cool in Goaty, because you do banish fishes for extension. But I think making a 4 is a little hard in that deck. But I do know that actually, what's it called? Aris Plod? It's a new one that it looks like it's I'll just see if I can find it in the box. Hang on. hang on. Let's see if I can find it in the box. I know I pulled it. It's only a common, so it's random stuff that like could be. Oh, and Six Samurai got support as well. It just looks like it's a battle thing. I didn't think it was too much to like. I don't go over every card. I just go over stuff that I think is interesting, realistically, which is why in this one there's so much more to talk about, because I honestly thought that most of this set was pretty interesting. Because I also think that it proved my point that this ban list meant nothing. So this thing, when this card is normal summoned, special summon 1 level 6 or lower fish monster from your hand, defense position, but banish it when it's field. This card is banished, you can special summon. So I thought this was going to be kind of cool until I realized it was a 4. So getting out this toxic boxfish might be a little harder than I thought to do. So that's the set. There's definitely a lot of cool stuff in here. In terms of if you're willing, if you should spend $129 on it, at least Australian dollars, $129. I honestly think this one might be worth it, just because I think a lot of the stuff that you can get as commons is really cool stuff that you'd want to mess with, I think. But the issue is that commons tend to be about fucking 20 cents per card. But like all of this stuff is worth, most of this stuff is worth some level of money. But then, like, you know, like the Regulus and the Spore Seeds, like I think a lot of this stuff would be really cool to pull. I think it's an interesting set to pull. Normally, I think with a lot of sets, I get bored of the commons. Like I want to buy it for the commons because like no one talks about the commons. They just talk about all the pull cards, chase cards, whatever's relevant in the format, which I don't really care about these days, at least at the moment. So I want to see what's kind of interesting and like what kind of commons are there, and or even like some of the supers which no one speaks about. And this one here, as you can see, we've been here for 50 minutes now. This one here kept my interest a fair bit, and why I had so much to talk about. Unfortunately, you know, I can't look at the cards and go, ooh, the deck's trying to do this now, or the deck's trying to do that now. I haven't played every single deck, but I do know a retrain when I see it. I do see stat lines. So, and I do have an understanding of what I've played against to know whether or not any of this stuff is worth it. So that's where my card selection is for what I want to show you, pretty much. And so yeah, honestly, I think buy this set. I think this set's worth buying. To be honest, I think there's some really cool stuff in here. I think it's interesting to open, and I'm looking forward to opening more as prize packs. Just one box. I don't think this is worth like a case or anything like that. I think cases are only worth for full deck build sets when you want a whole core. If you are to go that route, because normally you can get multiple cores and sell the cores and make your money back, whatever, right? But in this case, I think this is worth one box, because I think this is a set where you would miss stuff if you didn't buy it. Like you would not know it existed and completely lose track of what's there. So on that note, we're gonna call it there. We're gonna call it there. What was your favourite card in this set? And I don't know. Who'd you duel last? I'll see you next time. Take it easy.